Scene 1. The pills are already dissolving in his stomach. A 24-year-old lies on a cold floor in a city that never wanted him. 987. Watching the ceiling blur into shapes that don't mean anything. The chemicals are working. He can feel them pulling him towards something quieter than sleep. And in that moment, somewhere between conscious and gone, he realizes he doesn't want to die. He wants to be heard. The difference between those two things is about to change his life forever. But first, he has to survive the night. Scene titled, Rewind 3 years. A room full of people who don't believe he belongs there. Someone spits in his face. The saliva runs down his cheek while everyone laughs. He doesn't wipe it off. He steps forward instead. An outsider surrounded by insiders, trying to prove he's not a fraud. The tests are brutal. They don't care about his effort or his talent. They see what he came from and hear an imposter. Every attempt is the same question. What are you doing here? He grew up with nothing. Food stamps, roach-infested apartments. His struggle is real. But struggle doesn't come with credentials anyone recognizes. So he keeps showing up, keeps getting humiliated, keeps wiping his face and trying again. Scene 3. We don't know what to do with someone like you. The message is clear, even when it isn't written down. He reads it 17 times in the silence between rejections. Then he pins it to the wall of his mind. What do you do with proof that the world doesn't want you? You either disappear or you make them watch. Every door he knocked on, every gatekeeper he faced. The answers aren't not yet or come back stronger. The answers are just no. He keeps every rejection. Not because he believes they're right. Because when he's gone, he needs someone to find evidence that he tried everything. Scene Hayir. His daughter is 2 years old when the courts take her. The ruling isn't about his character or his love. It's about money, stability, a system that measures devotion in bank statements. He stands outside a courthouse, watching everything that matters drive away. The cold air burns his lungs. He doesn't cry. He just stands there, doing math in his head. The apartment the court would approve. The lawyer who returns phone calls. The clothes that don't make him look like what he is. He needs money. He doesn't have to become a father again. What do you have to become to get her back? Scene 5. A secondhand recorder on a makeshift desk. Equipment held together with the hope that it holds. He doesn't create because he believes it will work. He creates because he needs evidence. Proof for himself that he tried absolutely everything before disappearing. His work isn't a comeback, it's something far darker. A suicide note and a resurrection wrapped in the same act of making. Every attempt is a message in a bottle thrown from a sinking ship. If no one ever finds it, at least the ocean will know someone was here. Scene 6. My mother smokes more dope than I do. He writes the sentence and stares at it. His hands are shaking, not from anything chemical, from shame. He creates a version of himself, a character, who says everything he's too ashamed to admit. Every food stamp, every night his daughter cried for a father who couldn't provide. Every time someone looked at him and saw a joke. The rage isn't performed. The self-hatred isn't a gimmick. Why would strangers recognize themselves in the confessions of someone they'd never met? Because he finally showed them exactly what he is. Someone rejected by every world he tried to enter, belonging nowhere. And nowhere is the most crowded place on earth. Scene 7. The person with the power to change everything has seen 1,000 people just like him. They hold his work like something disposable, another desperate attempt from another nobody going nowhere. They almost throw it away. Almost. Scene 8. The mentor is tired of being asked to believe in people. He's witnessed 1,000 hungry individuals who think they're the exception. But when a trusted voice reaches him, urgent, unsettled, saying, I found something that scares me, he agrees to look. He encounters the work. The room gets quiet. He doesn't see the category everyone else assigned. He hears something else entirely. Something that sounds like his own hunger from years ago, before anyone believed in him. something that sounds like desperation wearing a costume of anger. He goes back to the beginning, experiences it again, goes back again. His hand is shaking when he reaches for the phone. Scene 9. The call comes. A number he doesn't recognize. A voice asking if he's the one. He thinks it's a prank. When they tell him someone powerful wants to meet, he hangs up. They call back, he hangs up again. The third time, they say something only someone real would know. He sits down on the floor, back against the wall, and realizes he doesn't know how to feel something he has never felt before. Hope, the most dangerous thing of all. Scene 10. The room where his future begins is bigger than anything he's ever been given access to. The mentor sits with the authority of someone who has built real things. They don't exchange pleasantries, they just start working. When it ends, the mentor says 4 words. You're going to work. Not you're talented, not you're special. You're going to work. It's the first time anyone has told him his pain has a purpose. He walks out and calls his daughter's voicemail. She's too young to answer. Just to tell her he might be coming home different. Scene, died at 11. 3 in the morning, everyone else has gone home. He's alone with the hardest thing he's ever had to say. The line is about his mother, about what she did to him, about the feelings he's carried for years he can't name cleanly. He says it out loud, listens back, erases it, says it again. His hands won't stop shaking. This confession will either destroy every chance he has or make him real in a way nothing else can. He doesn't know which. He says it anyway. What happens when a person's most private pain becomes the thing that saves them? Scene Dalal. The moment arrives when the world receives what he made. It reaches people everywhere, strangers in places he's never been. People whose lives look nothing like his. The outsider that every institution rejected, that every gatekeeper dismissed, that almost died anonymous and unheard, he's everywhere now. And it doesn't feel like winning. When people ask how it feels, he gives the same answer every time. Like everyone's finally listening to something I said when I thought no one would ever hear it. Like screaming into a pillow and finding out the whole world was under your bed. Scene 13. The courtroom is different this time. He has support now, resources. He has standing he didn't have before. His daughter is 4 years old and she doesn't understand what changed. She just knows he's here fighting. He can finally afford what the court required. The apartment? The lawyer? He can give her a bedroom with a door that locks, in a home without the things that haunted his childhood. The judge reads the ruling. He gets to be her father again. Not everything, not yet. But she'll know he came back. She'll know he stayed alive long enough to try. Scene, Troya. Someone asked him about that night. About 1997, about what it felt like to almost disappear. He stares past the question into somewhere. I died only in non. I didn't do it because I wanted to die, he says. I did it because I couldn't figure out how to live. He pauses. The difference between those two things? It's everything, scene 15. Years later, his daughter graduates. He's in the audience, unremarkable, sitting between strangers who don't know his story. His hands are folded in his lap like a man in prayer. She walks to the podium. She doesn't mention his fame, his survival, his reinvention. She holds up a piece of paper, yellowed, folded so many times the creases have turned to soft white lines. My dad wrote me this when I was too young to read, she says. He was living in a place with no heat. He didn't know if he'd ever see me again. Her voice catches. She reads, I'm going to become someone you're proud of. I'm going to stay alive until I figure out how. She looks up, finds him in the crowd. He figured it out. The audience applauds. He doesn't move. He's staring at that letter. The one he wrote on a cold floor 20 years ago, the night he almost didn't survive. The same handwriting, the same desperate promise. She kept it. She kept it all this time, Scene 16. After the ceremony, she finds him outside. He's sitting on a bench, the letter in his hands. She sits beside him. Neither speaks. Then she reaches over and folds his fingers closed around the paper. You can have it back now, she says. You kept the promise. He looks at the letter. He looks at her. And for the first time in his life, he believes he was worth saving.